This is Charity with Stamping with Charity, and today I am going to show you how to make this cool Mother's Day card. It's beautiful. I had a request to make homemade Mother's Day cards for my coworker, and I took him up on the offer, and I am going to make these beautiful cards. And I'm sure, like myself, there are several people out there that like the new product but have some old designer series paper sitting around that they would like to use. This is an old retired designer series paper, but this card is more on the layout. I love this fun fold layout. Any designer series paper would look great. This paper here is done similar to the fine art Floral, I believe, on how it was painted and then they turned it into paper. So here are the step-by-step instructions on how to make this card. You will need a card base from Bermuda Bay, cut at 5.5 by 8.5. You're going to score it at 4.25, and then you're going to score it at 1 3/4. Fold this back. Be sure to burnish your fold lines so you have a nice flat card. Now I am going to add some texture to this layer. I stamped the colors in Bermuda Bay and Costa Cabana. I'm just cleaning my stamp here to make sure they're clean. Stamp the lighter color first, which is Costa Cabana, and I am just randomly stamping this flower to create, very similar, your own background. And once I have it stamped in Costa Cabana, I'm coming back in with what I call like the highlight. It's a two-step stamp set, but I'm coming back in with Bermuda Bay and putting my highlights in. Now I'm going to make sure that I set those aside so I don't get ink on something that I'm not supposed to, because that never happens, right? Okay, before we go any farther, we need to do a little trick. And as you can see from my box, this is full of different shimmers. I have taken the white frost ink, and I'm taking the Highland Heather re-inker. I'm putting 1 drop onto my block, and I have an old Winkostella marker that is marked with an X, so I know that this is my one that I use for this. And I mix the color, and now I have any color of shimmer paint that will add some texture to the back of your card. Make sure you do it in a box, and make sure that you have nothing lying around that you don't want this on. And I just took the cap and I'm literally flicking the cap. And you want more? Put more on there and flick it. And look at what you get. I'm going to set that one aside, and I'm going to do another one, because I don't want any of this paint to go to waste. So I am just going to pick it up again, flick. such a fun way to get some texture on your background. Now, before we go any farther, I'm going to set these to dry because we're going to need those shortly. That should have been my first step, but hopefully they will dry soon while we work on the rest of the card. The next layer that we're going to do is we need a piece of ribbon, and this again is a retired product. Actually, this wasn't even Stampin' Up, it was just some ribbon that I had that I think looks very nice, which I'm sure you have ribbons that maybe you have bought from other suppliers, or maybe you have Stampin' Up ribbon that would coordinate well. When you go to adhere this ribbon down, don't do like I did the first time I made this card. I put it this way. And then I'm like, oh, that's not gonna work. Everybody's gonna see my ribbon. So make sure you put it on this way. The cut ends of the ribbon is what they're gonna see, not the nice finished ends. And then I take some tear and tape to hold my ribbon down. Make sure you rub that down. You're gonna need a piece of designer series paper, and any designer series paper would work for this. This is more about the layout than the paper. And this is cut at 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And you can see how I have a nice border all the way around. So when you go to put your adhesive on, make sure that you don't put it too far to the top or too far out to the edge or the bottom, because then you'll be covering up or your glue will show. Peel off your tear and tape. Stick on your piece of designer series paper. And I put glue on there, so, and I'm not pressing in the middle where my tear and tape is, so I have a little bit of wiggle room. And remember, we only put glue on the section that's folded back, otherwise we would glue down the front of the card. And this is how it's going to open. The next, I have taken a piece of Highland Heather and cut out the largest stitched So Sweetly dies. And I'm going to layer this on top of the front of the card. Again, the same thing. I am going to be careful not to get glue too close to this edge, because then I'll glue down my front. I don't want that to happen. And glue is pretty strong, so it will be stuck. Line it up however you want, how much space around the entire thing, and press it down. We are going to go ahead and stamp the inside just to give my layer for the flower here a little more time to dry. To do the inside, again, take a piece of Whisper Right. This is cut at 4 by 5 and an 8. I am going to do the flower in Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. So first stamp the lighter image, which this is going to be done in Highland Heather. And then come back with the highlight and stamp it in Gorgeous Grape. To layer this in your card, what I suggest doing is putting your adhesive on, and then don't just assume that you can go ahead and layer it in here. Lightly set it in here and make sure it's closer to the score mark in the center than it is to the outside. Then just lay it down, don't press anything down, and fold the front over and make sure that it totally covers. And then you can press this on. And this is what your card will reveal. Isn't that cute already? Okay, for the flowers, I have stamped this in Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, and then Old Olive is my stem. I've already cut those out, done the whole, cut them with the dies, pop my glue dots on the back, grabbed my shimmer layer that's already dry, set it in front of a heater. It does it fast. Now we're gonna glue this on. And if you put liquid adhesive, it gives you some wiggle room so you can move it over. Now, I put my stem on first, just because I like to have my stem on, and then I can layer my flower on top of it. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I'm sure you guys have seen this trick done before, where you take, this is just a scrap, literally, piece of Fleur de Flamingo, and I am going to use the tailored tag punch and banner the ends. I've seen this done many, many, many times. Did I ever try it? Nope. Guess what? Once I tried it, I am hooked. Literally hooked. That is the easiest way to do a banner end. I'm going to stamp Happy Mother's Day from the Dress to Impress stamp set on this, and then again I'm going to pop it up with dimensionals. I'd probably put 3 of them across there. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? One last touch is we're going to add some of the gold enamel dots. This paper has some yellow in it, and I think by adding the gold enamel dots, it just pulls that yellow out. Gives you some different color. And make sure that you put them in a triangle. So let me know, what do you think? Quick and easy, beautiful card. I love this layout, and I actually saw it from Allie, Creating with Allie, so I have to give a shout out to Allie. She had made this same layout in one of her Facebook Lives, and she used all current product, and I thought this would just be great to make into a card using some of the retired products. I hope this inspired you, and if you like it, please jump over to my blog at Stamping with Charity for more inspiration. Thanks for stopping by.